All right, he was considered the strategist of Survivor Amazon, and he returned to Survivor All-Stars for a shot at redemption. He is the man host Jeff Probst referred to as the smartest player to never win. Rob Cesternino joining us right now. We appreciate you spending time with us this morning. Is that a compliment, the smartest player to never win? How do you take that?
I mean, it's probably not as impressive as the dumbest winner, but, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, I just take it at this point. Either way, it could be, $1 million or
Doesn't
that kind of title.
Well.
Yeah, we'll take it. Hey, your time on Survivor, a lot of people developed a following for you, and you kind of turned that into a podcast. So your podcast is called Rob Has a Podcast. Love the name. So talk to us about what the goal is with this podcast and kind of how it's grown over the years.
Sure. Thank you so much. That Survivor is just something that has captured the imagination of people who love reality TV for 20 plus years. I know that we've great survivors in your area like Danny Boatwright that we saw just come back last season. And for people who love to talk about these shows, I have a podcast, Rob Has a Podcast, where we recap all of the episodes and do interviews with the contestants talking about Survivor and Big Brother and reality TV.
So you've really managed to flourish this into quite the career, and it speaks to just how much people love the show, that you can just talk about it on a podcast and garnish all these viewers and listeners. What is it about Survivor that makes it so special? It's lasted forever, it seems like.
I think it's the format that is such a interesting idea of what would you do if you were trapped on a desert island, and we've all had that sort of like, okay, I think I would be like this and I would be like this. And Survivor is really built on the strength of its people that they put on the show. So there's always somebody that you can relate to, or somebody in your life that's like the people that are on the show. And it's just something that has had people that have watched it for 20 years, and it's captured so many new fans from people that over the being locked down binge the whole show or found it on Netflix, and more and more people just keep coming to Survivor.
Yeah, and you talk about the people that participate in Survivor, a lot has changed over 20 years. So one of those efforts that you specifically with your podcast have kind of tried to push is increasing diversity in the amount of contestants. Do you feel like they're in a good place now, or is there still work that needs to be done? And why is that so important?
So I think there's always more work that can be done. We have interviewed, hundreds and hundreds of contestants that have participated in Survivor, and that we've been able to, have a lot of great discussions with different diverse cast members from the past. And they've talked about how that they didn't always feel like they had a fair shot at the game. So a lot of the Black Survivor players that have come through Survivor, they worked with CBS, and they ended up pushing for a diversity casting initiative where from now on, 50% of all the casts of CBS reality TV are going to be Black, Indigenous, people of color, and that goes to behind the camera also. So that will really help be able to tell diverse stories of these new casts.
Very, very cool and important. And right here on CBS, the season premiere just happened. So what are your thoughts on not only who was eliminated, so talk about that, and then also any standout bets you can make on who will win the whole thing?
So it was a really great premiere of Survivor last night, and they've added so much new stuff to try to make it a really fun and exciting season after there had been no Survivor for a year and a half. We saw 2 different tribal councils and 2 players voted out. Abraham was voted out in a little bit of a straightforward vote. You had Sarah, who got voted out in a vote which was a little bit more of up in the air going into it. And I feel like that the person who really stood out to me was Shan, she is a 34-year-old pastor who is a reformed gang member who seems like that she is really playing a strong game right now.
Very, very cool. Well, we'll check in to see if Shan ends up winning it all and see just how well-knowledged you are about this season as well, maybe down the road. Before we let you go, what's the hardest part about actually competing? I feel like as a viewer, everybody always wonders, like, is it the mental? Is it the physical? Is it the lack of food? From your perspective, what is it?
I think it's the elements that you could get through just about anything on Survivor. I think that the game can be very exciting, but on those days where it just is nonstop rain for 24 hours, that's really the worst. And there's nothing else in your normal life that you'll end up like soaking wet and not being able to sleep at night. So I think that is like the most torturous part of Survivor.
Okay, I told my co-anchor last week I think I could do it, but suddenly I'm rethinking that. Yeah, she was quickly saying no, not you, it was Gina.
No, I was going to say, I've always wanted to go on Survivor.
You want to go?
Yes.
Maybe we'll go. This is our audition. Yeah, CBS, pick us up. We'll see. I don't know. Actually, I might regret that.
An anchor duo.
Yeah.
That
an anchor duo.
fun.
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Rob, thank you so much. And again, this is Rob from Survivor, and also Rob has a podcast. Survivor Season 41, all new every Wednesday, right at 7 o'clock, right here on KCTV5, followed by Big Brother, and then your news at 10. We'll be right back.